This episode of Shift Point at Caffeine and Octane is presented by Eco Valet. Please visit ecovaleatlanta.com for your premier valet services.
The September 2013 edition of Caffeine and Octane drew out a huge crowd with a little under 2,000 attendees hanging out under an overcast North Georgia Sunday morning. The main parking lot was quickly filled with a variety of foreign and domestics, and foot traffic that followed suit. Without question, Caffeine and Octane brings out the best of the metro Atlanta car scene, and in this episode, we highlight the owners of a fully restored 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle, a recently purchased stock 2005 Ferrari F430, and a modified Audi R8. Growing up with his dad who owned a Chevy Malibu, Eric always wanted one of his own, and 5 years ago, he found this forest green 1970 Chevy Chevelle in North Georgia. Eric decided to swap in a 496 big block Chevy crate motor for a power plant.
It's got aluminum heads, aluminum intake, water pump, radiator. It's a 10.5 to 1 compression motor. It's got a roller cam. It makes about 555 to the tire.
The transmission is a T56 Magnum 6-speed with a 373 12-bolt rear end. The interior is original in color, but has been redesigned with TMI sports seats and Dakota digital VHX gauges. Eric chose a staggered wheel setup to keep with a more race look. The wheels are billet specialty lightweight, with 15x10s wrapped in Mickey Thompson ET Street radials in the rear and 15x4s in the front. Highly complimented, Eric receives praise for his build. We then met Chris, who acquired a 2005 Ferrari F430 Spider only a month ago after selling his modified Porsche 911 Turbo S, which made around 600 horsepower. The only modifications Chris has made to the F430 were removing the lines off the exhaust valves to make it loud all the time. No modifications are planned thus yet, as Chris feels they will devalue the car for potential resale. He also notes that the F430 is more fun to drive than his previous 911, as the naturally aspirated motor delivers more response than the Porsche Turbo.
It's actually more fun to drive, even though it's not quite as fast on the top end. It's more fun because it's more responsive. It's a naturally aspirated motor, so you have the power, all the time rather than just when the turbos spool. And from a steering standpoint, it's also much more light and nimble in steering feel, so it feels more responsive and it's louder.
Lastly, we spoke with Christiana about her modified Audi R8. Like Chris, she recently acquired her car and stated she wanted the power of a Lamborghini without the flash. The R8 has become a daily driver for Christiana after selling 3 other cars, including an MK4 Supra. Tuning was performed by Top Speed Motorsports in Alpharetta, Georgia, and there are after plans to upgrade with a twin turbo kit to push her into the 9s. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page and join us next month for another edition of Shift Point at Caffeine and Octane as we highlight another set of 3 beautiful cars. We'll also be giving away a set of Gamester Gear headphones, so stay tuned for contest details. There are too many cars to highlight in one segment, but if you think your car should be featured in a future episode, send us a few pics to carsubmission@shiftpoint.com with Caffeine and Octane in the subject line. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll see you next month.